You just think it's one way, because you come from school, you just love rugby, you're playing for the guys around you, and you don't expect it to be a career. It's you're just doing something that you love. You get there, you're still doing something that you love, just training a bit harder.
Every day.
Yes, Warren Brits took me under his wing when I got there. I think it was his last year. I think he was 36 or 35 years old.
Still hustled himself to move there for 5 years.
Yeah. The money that you get from rugby can end like this, dude. We walk out your house, the car can hit you.
Yeah.
And you're the superstar. Don't buy the most expensive car. Come down, plan. It can end.
Keeping it rugby with Gobani Bobo. This is it. We back at it. We are here to give you something that you can engage with, really get into the conversations that we're going to have. And today it's a great pleasure and it's an honor for me to have this young man who I saw as a junior player at the academy, at the Sharks Academy, and who has grown up to be one of the most outstanding rugby players. And one thing which is good about him, is a good human being. Who am I talking about? Ryan Kankowski. I used to call him the half, but we'll talk about that. Ryan, otherwise you well, bud?
Bob, so good. Thanks for having me. Listen, you came up with the half. You can't remember? You started that whole
I thought it was going to stick, and it never did.
Night Rider, then the half, and jeez. Those are the good old days, eh?
Those are good old days. I mean, Kanko, which is another name that everyone is so familiar with. Sharks Academy. I mean, what a class. What class was it? A class of 2003, 2004? 2004.
Yes. 04, yeah. We had an unbelievable bunch of guys. Hans Grieber, I think it was Hans and Rudolf Kotze from the academy that did really well that year. Because I was like shoulder tapped at St. Stithian's Rugby Fest.
Yeah.
Given the opportunity to go there, I think the years before the Sharks weren't doing well. I think Kevin Putt era, they were losing a good couple games, and so no one really wanted to come to the Sharks.
Sure.
Apparently at that time, and they shoulder tapped a few of us, and then it's myself. I think Brad Barrett, JP Peterson, Beast came in later in the year.
Yeah.
Like Keegan, Cedric Mkees. Yeah, dude, we had
Franz
Steyn came in a bit later. There was a massive bunch of us that came in. Scary stat though. I remember out of our 22-man squad, like 18, 19, 20 of us were from the Eastern Cape.
Wow.
It was massive. That under 21, a lot of Eastern Cape boys. Chester Koyana, Craig Burden.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had some great guys through the academy. The first year we got smacked a bit.
Yeah.
But the second year, I think we lost one game out of the whole season. So it was a massive thing. And then most of us got pulled up into
Super Rugby Curry Cup.
Dick's Curry Cup squad. We did massive trials with all the club stuff. And then we were all given a chance. And like most of the guys took it, so it was great to be a part of that sort of era that came through.
I mean, at the same time, you had old Sways the Brain. And
yes, Sways, yeah. Under 21.
Just talk to me about the crazy genius he is. I mean, I think I saw you at that time. We were the seniors. I saw you wearing a number 13 jersey, jumping at 7 and packing at 8. Something like that.
He
in one game.
Yeah, dude, he was willing to try everything. So he had all these certain parts of the field. You're like a 3-man line out.
Yeah.
2-man line out with a guy coming in with a wing through in. And then you wore the 13 because at scrum time he wanted me in the backs.
Yeah.
For like the attacking side of things. And then line outs, he wanted me in the line outs. So like everyone had he changed the game, So he did try a bit of the lines when he got there.
No, because that was something. Like, I mean, dude, that's why I wanna get into that. I want to get into that. I mean, that Sharks Academy and the squad that you guys had, but then you had like one of the persons that I always say the craziest genius of rugby coach, someone who always thought outside the box, sweats the brain. Yes. I remember like he had different players playing different positions.
Yes.
At that stage, I think Craig Burden used to be an outside center, but then he thought that his power could be good in the forwards. and you the other way around. I mean,
Yes.
how was that, and what was it like just working with someone who could think outside that box?
Yeah, he was convinced I should play 13 at the time. But yeah, he had like these crazy ideas of having the wing thrown into a 3-man line out in the 22, getting your forwards kind of in the middle against their backs, or the bigger boys, and then because I was tall, he wanted me in the lineouts to jump, but scrum time he wanted me attacking on the outside, you know. So he had
it's because you had the pace too.
Yeah, so, I mean he backed the guys, and the best thing was he was open to everything, you know, like crazy with the skills, trying things out, and like he really backed the guys that were there. So it was a great learning curve, and he's tried the things out with the Lions. Like when he was there, he was trying a couple of the 3-man line outs.
Sure.
He had a few moves that he created, like mauls in the middle of the field. Like, yeah, again, wing throwing in to like 1 forward jumping, other backline guys lifting, and all the forwards in the middle would set up a maul down the middle of the field, like to go. And then you got 2 backlines on either side.
Yeah.
You know, it's like crazy things that like you laugh at, but it worked. You know, it was, yeah.
I bring that question up because it's the people that sort of influence us and influence our rugby, and especially for you, it was like at the formative stage because you were starting getting into professional rugby, and all of a sudden you were asked to adapt to so many different views. Because I don't think even at school you would have thought that was going to be such a dynamic when you come into like coaches.
No, like you just think it's one way, you know, because you come from school, you just love rugby, you're playing for the guys around you, and you don't expect it to be a career. You know, it's you're just doing something that you love. You get there, you're still doing something that you love, just training a bit harder.
Every day.
Yes, like every single day, some 3-4 times a day, you know, at those stages it was crazy. And then you get one coach who's like your more bigger forwards, bash, bash, bash. And then you get a Swace who's just thinking out of the box, you know, he's wing, go this, try this, you know, back pass, you know, all these crazy things. So you kind of do find the coaches that suit your style or that you end up getting drawn towards. And then coming from St. Andrews, we're all running style.
Let that ball go.
You know, just like let it go, have fun. And, you know, then like a Swace does like suit that style. And then going from Swace, you know, then Dick picked us up.
Yes.
You know, Dick is the same. He just wants to run and he backs you 100%. So he was probably the best coach for me as a player. I mean, he spoke to me once before a game, but it was before my first game. And he was just like, Ryan, whatever you do, 100%. Like the only time I'll like shit on you is if you don't back yourself 100%, I'm gonna shit on you. So I don't care if you want to kick, chip, run, as long as it's 100%, go for it. And then there was a dude, like I promise, he spoke to me in the first game.
Yeah.
On my first Curry Cup game for him, he said that to me. And then ever since then, he went to every single person, he had a few words, just looked at me, smiled, moved on to the next guy. Like he knew, and you're sitting there, and it was like you just had fun. You know, it was a great time. You know, like knowing that the coach backed you so much. He pushed me into sevens.
Yeah,
you know, because he pulled me into the Super Rugby squad. I think 2006. It's like trained a bit with the guys, and he's like, Ryan, listen, I want you to get into the sevens thing. You know, get some international exposure. Go have some fun, and you know, hopefully it'll like grow your game or like Lucy wise. I don't know what his plan was exactly, and then ended up making it into the SA team, and we did like really well. It was great for me.
Yeah,
as a Lucy, the running rugby,
getting the experience, getting to play against like those stepping, or what is it?
Virginians, dude. Yes.
William Ryder.
I'm still looking for
William Ryder.
I'm still looking for him on the field. No, dude, that was a joke. You know. You play against like these crazy guys, and it was great.
I mean, Dickie himself, he actually played Springbok Sevens, which is why he understood the importance of having that sort of like growing as a player, how much you sort of get used to having open spaces. Yeah. You know, like something that people don't really think about in terms of the technical ability like of the game. So in 15 men's per player, you cover like 7 meters. Yeah. And then in sevens per player, you cover 15 meters.
That's crazy.
And that's your defensive space and all of that.
You can rest in 15s.
Oh, you can't.
You know, like
if someone keeps the ball 3 minutes in a sevens game, that is like having it for half an hour.
You're done. And it was like you expected to do so much. There was a guy so when I went back in 2016 to sevens,
Yeah.
so I hit a blank on his name. He's a Scottish guy that came in to help with the defensive
structures.
Yeah, he was brilliant. So it's like he came into the thing where, because you got to tackle, get up, counter ruck, and then you still got to be pillar on either side.
Yeah.
Whereas in 15s, you're making the tackle. Some guys try and get in there and counter ruck, and you've got time to get up.
Because there's someone else who's filling up that space.
There's always someone else, that might...
Even just congestion.
You need a break, you do this, it's we're in sevens, you have to be up the whole time. And I'm like, guys always joke, they said, like, when you're done with 50s, you're going to go back to sevens. And I'm like, guys, sevens is the hardest thing you'll ever do.
It's a young men's game, I always used to say.
So when I went back there, like with Neil and the way they worked those guys, you at 100% the whole time.
Full tilt.
It's like, it's
there's
another
no
game,
rest.
dude. No, there's no rest. So like training, when you got to games, like games was a break.
It's too easy.
It's like you resting during the game. You
actually on the weekend, it felt like as if they didn't exhaust us enough.
No, dude, but like when you do training and it was like they pushed you to the end the whole time. And that's why they were so good, Like now they're going through a bit of a rebuilding phase, but the players that Neil and them developed.
Yeah, they finally.
And they became big names everywhere.
Yeah,
like across the thing. Like you got Charles, Cheslin, Ciabello,
Werner,
Roscoe, Werner, like these guys, Kwacha again. They like dominated into 15s. And they came from nowhere.
It was a work ethic. You could just pick it up from the way that they were. It looked like as if they were so hungry to work.
It is, but there was like it was just effort after effort after effort. Like you had to kind of tell them, okay, stop now. It wasn't.
Let's talk about your effort, because I know you're not the man who likes to talk about yourself much. Let's talk about that handoff now. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
2008, just a really massive breakthrough year for you. What do you think was a difference after having had the sevens experience, the backing of Dick Muir in 2006, and the 2007 where we just lost I say we because I was still in part of the squad in the Super Rugby final, but 2008 sort of things started happening. Player of the Year, Super Rugby. What was the difference?
I think it's kind of, the first year is always tough, and they always tell you, listen, first year is easy getting into it. Like second year, you have to back it up. So, I mean, that second year worked my ass off. We trained, it was crazy. We had a great squad.
Yeah.
And, again, like when someone like Dick backs you 100%, it does make it easy coming into it. You've done all the hard work off the field. We had, Mark Steele pushing you like crazy. You had,
two milkies.
Yeah, dude, when you put everything in, it's like you put all the effort in off the field. When you get back on that field training, I wouldn't say it was easy, but coming from sevens, it's like crazy. Like when you get into 15s, there's just so much space.
It feels like there's so much.
It looks like there's nothing, but you try and explain to guys like running. It's like, Ryan, how did you see like the gap, or how did you see this? I was like, dude, like honesty is like, it's a reaction. You don't see the guys here. You more looking at space at the back, and I don't know, coming from sevens that year, it seemed like it was.
And it's that work ethic, because the guys are not, their reactional time is not the same.
No, it's like they're way slower. It's like you can see them taking their time to get up. You can see you try and explain to guys, the big boys, they like put their hands on their knees and they look in. So by the time you're changing a thing and you're coming at an outside angle, by the time he looks up at you,
he's actually getting surprised. Like, where did he come from?
By the time he sees you, you've actually beaten him already. He just doesn't know it. Like it's.
I love it.
Like it's like you're just changing a slight direction. You see his shoulders turn and then it's gone. So it was, and you're just literally, again, you're having fun. It was so much fun with that squad. The coaches, the way, everyone backed you from the backroom staff right up until,
righty, being with the SNC.
It was a massive privilege to be a part of that squad. And, coming from nothing, we were a bunch of youngsters just at the academy, and then you bring that culture of, we were Sharks, you came through and you built it up, and then you started winning, and then winning becomes like a habit, it's a culture thing that you built, and then slowly the guys start leaving, and then you go through that dip again, so it's the next guy's chance to kind of pick up from where we left off.
Ryan, the one thing that I know of the story, but one of the senior players took you to just took you around and under his wing and sort of spoke about rugby after rugby.
Yes.
And can you share about that story and how it sort of turned out?
I've actually shared it quite a few times. Like Warren Brits took me under his wing when I got there. I think it was his last year. I think he was 36 or 35 years old.
Still hustled himself to move there for 5 years.
Yeah. Brits, only he could do that. And then like the one day he took me literally down Chartwell Drive. He's like, Ryan, I want to show you something. It was my first year. I think I just joined this. It could have been 2006.
Yeah.
He took me down a road and he showed me like houses that rugby players had owned, like 5 houses. And I was like, I couldn't understand. I was like, why? Like, why don't they own them anymore? Like, what's the story? He says, well, the guys earn R1 million a year.
Yeah.
Their maximum monthly allowance, call it, is 25 grand towards a house. They spend all 25 grand buying a 5 million rand house. By the time they realize it, like rugby, if you're lucky, lasts 10 years.
Mm.
He says, so now when you finish that, you haven't grown your money, you can't afford to pay your house anymore. Then they end up losing the house or have to sell it or
They have to cut down.
They have to cut down, So like he planted the seed of, prepare for life after rugby. So from like 21, 20, I was already thinking of like a little apartment, get something. For me, it was around universities, find something small, rent it, put in, 2 apartments or slightly bigger units. And then, when I went to Japan, it started becoming more commercial offices, then small industrial warehouses. And then, the whole goal was just when rugby finishes, don't know anything on anything, kind of try and get to earn more or less what you're getting during rugby, post-rugby, or the other way around, post-rugby. Yeah. And that was my goal. And, like touch wood, it was managed to get close to it and things were good. And then, living in Durban, living the dream. And then my wife up in Joburg, moved up to Joburg. Then you realize people are hustling the whole time. It's like a different energy. And the guys I'm around, you're meeting like great businessmen.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities the whole time. So like it opened, I'd never ever tapped into the networks you meet during rugby. You meet the guys, you meet so many businessmen, and there's so many opportunities out there that, you like coming up to Joburg, you start slowly tapping into them, and then it's advice here or check this out here. And,
How would you, because I know like most of the time, Dickie, coming from that Sharks environment, used to always say to us, there's these functions that you guys don't really like.
Yes.
Where we have to go and mingle with the business people and you have to mingle. And he always used to have that sort of advice that you never know.
Yes.
You must open up and speak to these guys and see and show interest. How would you sort of advise a younger player now who is in this space? Because you are pretty much, it's always like the flavor of the month.
Yes.
And whilst you're still playing, you are the flavor.
Yes.
How do you use that platform for them to sort of like, it's not a prescription, right?
Yes.
But it's some advice that you can sort of put out there.
It's very easy to smile and be good to people. A lot of people were, and like there's some folks that are dicks, like legit. They think and listen, it's everyone, like you're the flavor of the month, as you said. Some people think they're better than other people, and you get to these functions and there's a guy that wants some of your time and the guys like blow the guy off, but they don't realize he's like the CEO of some bank.
Yeah. Actually, and you are like, paying him back.
Yes, like he's actually, and like it's in South Africa, rugby is massive. Like everyone loves rugby. Well, most people love rugby in South Africa. So you go to these functions, you got the biggest business people everywhere. They want some of your time. Outside of rugby, no one can get their time.
Yeah.
But now you got 5 minutes with the guy and it's easy to sit with the guy and like, geez, what's your name? Oh, kids, what business you in? Oh, I'm being amazing. Share a number. Or it's not that, it's cool. You might see him in another function.
Sure.
Down the line, you find out you're doing some investing in whether it's property or I don't know, anything. And you're like, oh, hang on.
Actually, I know someone who
Bob's the boss here. Let me see if I've still got his number. Let me get hold of him. He's like, oh, yeah, Bob's is a good oak to me. Doesn't mean the deal's going to happen.
No, it's just
but
that
you get in the door.
You somewhere, right?
Yes. and it's schools do the same thing. Rugby does a thing where you can pick up the phone, at least phone a guy, and it's massive if you can speak to a guy that likes you.
Yes.
Like you gave the time to him when you were someone.
Yeah.
And now he's someone to you when you know one.
Yeah.
So it's being friendly is and just being a good person. It's not hard, dude. Like smiling is so easy to. It's just be a good person, and not that you have to be good just to get something out of it.
No,
it's very easy to just to be genuine to people. You don't have to. Your time will come where you one anymore.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the best lessons my dad always taught me. He's like, just be humble, Ryan. There'll always be someone who's bigger and better than you. He'll put you in your place. Just keep your feet on the ground. Give everyone like the time of day. You're not better than anyone. So it was if there is any advice, it's just be a good person.
Yeah,
be a good person.
I always say, like, we've got Springboks. We all love Springboks. And there's a lot of people that we admire.
Yes.
But what we really want is better sons, better friends.
Yes.
But exceptional South Africans of good people,
yes.
right? And for me, what is it like in terms of those lessons in rugby? Because you are sometimes like right at the top of your game, and then you go through that slump.
Yes.
How did you get yourself sort of like bouncing back? Because it's a tough time. It feels lonely.
Everyone goes through it. We all have those holes that you think you're the only person that's happening to, but every sportsman goes through it. And then sometimes, I've had years where pushing the most weights you've ever pushed, you're running the fastest you've ever run, the fittest you've ever been, but the rugby's it's just not happening.
Can't catch a ball or something.
It's like, and it's might not just be you, like the whole team, you just like,
you're
not gelling, like things just aren't happening. You guys aren't winning. So it is quite, like we've all had those tough things, but I don't know, like my wife gets irritated with me for it. It's like, got the crazy positive outlook,
yeah, I'm an optimist too, man.
Yeah, dude. So it's like when everyone else hears the news and they think it's bad news, I'm thinking it's great news. There's a chance.
Yeah.
So it's always just go back to the drawing board, put in the work.
Yeah.
And it will come. For me it was always just making sure you fit, making sure this is right, and just being ready for that opportunity. It's the one thing I try and tell everyone. It's like it's one thing giving up and thinking it's never going to happen, and then by the chance you do get a chance, and then you're not ready for it.
But you've lost the energy that you had.
Yes, just it will come. If you just keep going, stay positive, and it will come.
The grind is real.
It is real. You get into those holes, and it's just remember why you're doing it. That's the one thing I look back on. When we started playing rugby at school, it was fun,
loving it.
When
someone says they're going to pay you, it's like,
dude,
no,
that's when I realized it was time. Dude, for me, I realized it was time. It's like it stopped becoming fun.
Yeah.
You get to that age where you're hurting and you're running and you're thinking this guy.
What they're going to write about me or some crazy
it's not fun anymore.
Stuff.
It's like the rugby is not fun. Then yes, you're doing it for now, you're doing it for money, now you're doing it for this. Now,
now it's your social currency.
Yeah, it's a whole other thing. So that's when I realized, okay, maybe it's time to
let go.
It wasn't fun anymore. The body's hurting. Then it becomes like you're not doing it for the right thing and
the right reasons.
Yeah, I loved the game. It gave me everything I had, everything I have. So it was good times.
No, it's good times. I mean, you've challenged yourself, especially after rugby. We can go on and talk about Japan, how much money bags you brought back.
I wish. Never brought anything near enough.
But when I talk about challenges, I remember we caught up sometime, and if you can talk to it, the mentorship of especially the east side of the world, the esports guys.
Yes.
Why was that important to you, and why did you want to get into a space where you can be someone that those guys can bounce ideas?
The gaming was always massive for me. From geez, dude, from before rugby when I was young. At school even, I loved games, love computers. And then like coming to Joburg or in Durban, really, I got approached by a few guys doing some events.
Yeah.
It's like, Ryan, you're the only sportsman you know playing games at the time. Like, come into the game, come to this event, come speak to people, come show yourself around. And then you get to these events, and like the one picture I have in my head, like this dad was walking around with his like 9-10-year-old boy. And the kid had no idea who I was.
Sure.
But the dad, like as he's walking around, like I just saw grumpy dad kid. He's trying to get his kid around this gaming thing that he wants to get out with all the nerds.
Yeah.
And the dad like walks past, sees me, and he's like,
"What are you doing?"
He's like, Ryan, like, what are you doing here? So I said, no,
I love games.
Love games. And he's like, I could see him going like, it's like,
you?
What do you mean? It's like, you rugby, like,
you're
like completely opposite like worlds. So I said, no, I absolutely love it. I'm here with like, you know, the guys from gaming side, and then I could see his mind was like completely shifted.
He was
so I was
flipped.
like, so my biggest thing back to the guys was trying to get those dungeon gamers, the guys that never get sun. He's like, dude, you can have the gaming side of things, but be healthy, get in the sun, mingle.
There's life.
There's life outside of it. You know, you can do all of that, but there's a healthy side. You know, I was fortunate. You like paid to play sport.
Yeah.
And then that was like a hobby. And it's like trying to get the guys, get into the sun, meet people. Because you speak to an online gamer, he's Siya Kolisi online.
Yes, he's bravado. He's got all the energy, confidence.
Get in front of him in person. The guy struggles to look at you in the eye, and you're like, hey, like, come on. You know, like you get that out. All of a sudden, once you spend a few minutes with him, then that personality comes out.
Yeah.
So it's like, you need to work on that. You know, get out, go be healthy. There is life outside of it, and you know, trying to show people that it's not like dark and dingy, that whole side of things, and it's growing at a rapid pace. South Africa's always a couple of years behind everyone else, you know, because of our like location. But esports, gaming, that whole side, it's multi-billion-dollar industry that's growing like crazy. And you know, if there's one or two kids that are helped, you know, by being involved, then that's more than enough for me. Is just trying to help as many people as possible.
You know, you talk about how big that side is. We had one of the marketing gurus of South Africa, Jean Villas, and he was telling us about the wins that this one South African boy, massive wins overseas, and it's so big in the more now commercial side of life, which is amazing because, like you were saying, I mean, everyone used to think those guys are just sitting there with the tracksuit with all the stains of all last night's spaghetti and never changed and all of that. And now all of a sudden it's become a professional sport.
Yes, but the biggest brands in the world at the moment are all like tech driven. They're all these crazy ideas, and these guys that get ahead of it, you go like, there's some great South African, whether it's from the gaming to these podcasts to the YouTubers and stuff. We're just a little bit behind everyone else. You know, once I get that side, we took some of the gamers, I think it was Energy Esports, I'm not sure if they're around anymore, but they went overseas, and the under 16 guys were beating the under 18 guys.
Wow.
But like legally they couldn't play because they underage.
Underage though.
You know, of the actual game they're playing. So it was like, you know, like there's massive talent, like getting the money to go across there, you need like massive backing, but the talent's you know, and the money is in it. You just kind of got to realize there's a massive pool of people outside of South Africa that are also just as good as you.
Yeah.
And that's where that whole sporting mentality comes into it. And, you know, the best will eventually rise to the top. You just got to back it and keep going.
Let's talk about your media and advertising sort of space. I mean,
yes.
What? Yeah, put me on. Please put me on. I know I've seen you. You are very creative, and you're the kind of person who's always been expressive. How was that? What was that? What is it?
It's an opportunity that came about, you know. So, like, again, getting involved in the warehousing side of things, I started noticing, being in Joburg, you start getting shown a few like different opportunities.
Yeah.
And I had some friends in the out of home advertising space, and, you know, driving around, you see so much of it. And then you see a friend who's got a building that's in a great spot. And I'm like, okay, cool. Have you ever thought of this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, I know some people that are in the space, you know, help me.
Yeah.
And then again, it's connections from school, rugby, and you'd never get to be able to do it by not like being friendly or meeting with the people. And they're like, cool, come sit down. We'll show you how to go. The council guys to get all of you. These guys to get in touch with. This is how you do it. And on some of the bigger stuff, they're guys that, again, met you through rugby, and cool, we'll fund whatever you want to fund, or we'll help you on this side. We'll put you in touch with some of the brands, and then like slowly building up the company network, to kind of, because you got to get a hold of all the media houses, and then you got to build up a bit of a track record. And if someone can vouch for you or say, okay, cool, no, they can deliver on this. And we've slowly built out a couple sites, and touch wood, hopefully it keeps
doing what
just keep does. Keep adding sites, keep pushing, and who knows what the future brings.
I mean, at the moment, I know you probably play the most golf in between the both of us.
Definitely between the both of
us. Just life now with the family, with the kids, and how things have sort of really totally changed, because I'm in the same building.
Living the dream, playing rugby, no kids. There's no stress on that side. We don't know what that stress is, seeing the guys with the kids. But then post-rugby, having kids, it was the hardest thing I've ever done, but also the best thing. We said earlier, I don't remember life before kids.
Yeah.
It's like you live from like smile to smile, like you just want to get these like happy moments, and seeing your son or daughter, like they walk into a room and I'll see like this light.
Yeah.
And they look at you with like their eyes like so. He's like, have you seen what this thing does? Like this light comes out of it. Like, like check this button. For you, it's the most simple thing, but for them, they're like their whole world is like blown. It's like seeing those moments, is something like really special, and you wish everyone can have that sort of like feeling, having kids. And as I said, it's been one of the hardest adaptions trying to get around. Mornings, like my wife works like crazy, at the moment. So she's flat out. So I've had to kind of take a back seat on my side of things. I'm lucky all my work's on a phone.
Sure.
And I can go after hours. It's fine. So like between dropping kids off, picking kids up, like.
We dad taxis, man.
Yeah, dude, wheeling and dealing, like trying to make sure the kids are all sorted while you trying to get life on the track.
How much have you compromised yourself? Because when they give you that, Daddy,
dude, little girl, now I can see it's coming. It's like your boy, you just want him to be like, listen, respectful, do this. Your little daughter runs in there smiling at you. You're just like, what do you want? How can I help? So it's a whole different world, and absolutely love it.
Now,
new challenges.
No, Ryan. Just to sum it up, any advice to sort of young athletes, maybe just teetering and getting in, or just looking at the end is near space? Because I sort of put those in two spaces as similar spaces, because you're coming in to start a career. It feels like as if you're back in standard 6.
Yes.
You think you become this great person, and then after that, it feels like as if you're starting again in standard 6 of life when you finish playing, right? Like, what would be the sort of few things that they can hang on and hang their hats on going ahead?
I think like being a youngster coming in, like the golden boy, or you think the whole world is literally, the world is at your feet.
Evolves around you.
And you think coming out of school, you're like in a bubble, and then going into rugby, you're in another bubble, and like realizing soon enough or early enough that like rugby ends, like the world doesn't revolve around you.
True.
The money that you get from rugby can end like this, dude. We walk out your house, a car can hit you.
Yeah.
And you're this superstar. And like I saw it happen to a guy at the Sharks. He was said to be the next 8. He's coming to take my place. Running on a field. Shame. He tore everything in his knee and he could never play again. And
I mean, we've got an example of Cedric and Keezer.
Yes. Car accident.
And this accident was going to play with the team, and then all of a sudden he was paralyzed, and his kid was
coming home from a thing done
21.
Yes.
I mean, cheap as
and we played SA7s. We were literally there were like 4 of us that went from all these like 7s camps, and like he was in the Shark squad. Everything was happening.
He was my roommate,
dude, like that. And it's like it's hard to tell a youngster who's earning stupid money coming straight out of school, and like a lot of people at the Sharks, they come talk, and I'm like, I remember sitting there, and I like, no one wants you there.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Some old has-been.
Yeah, now he's trying to tell me what to do with my money.
I'm like, who do you think you are? And I'm like, and there are a few guys that have phoned me and like they've asked for advice. And I'm like, I've given them my advice, and I've said, just because it worked for me doesn't mean it'll work for you.
True.
But this is how this happened. Cool, you're earning this much. Don't buy the most expensive car. Come down, like plan. Like it can end. Yes, enjoy your money.
Can you work? I always used to think to myself, like, if I have to get myself the biggest bond, right? And I get this bond, if everything had to stop the next day, will I have the enough capacity to actually make it work?
Yeah, but like,
can I maintain that?
Like that, but no one thinks about that, because if you're earning, I don't know what the guys are earning now, like 200 grand a month.
Yeah.
As a 21-year-old, like you trying to explain to him that that's going to end soon. He's like, no chance. He's living the dream.
It's going to get bigger.
Yeah.
Funny how the contract gets smaller and smaller as you get on.
If only they knew. So it's like planned. Like just have that backup plan in place. Like it's whether it's apartments, find something. Just stay away from restaurants. Don't get involved in that shit.
I remember. Dude, we've got too many guys that we know.
Dude, that have lost so much money. Like, if you can't be there 24/7, like if you're taking money post-rugby and you're going to go in and you'll be there every day, happy days. I wish you all the best. But, like stay in your game, stay in your lane, I should say. And, everyone has different opportunities as they come. It's about taking them, planning, and just keep thinking about post-rugby. It's a
real thing.
It's a scary world, to go from earning everything life. And like,
it's longer life than your career.
Dude, like if I think today, what's it? 2025. I finished 8 years ago. It's like 3/4 of rugby. I can't remember rugby.
Anything that happened.
Dude, and as I said earlier, like, dude, I had the best life, best career. Like, dude, we traveled the world, had most fun out of everyone.
5-star hotels.
Dude, you meet the best people all around the world, stay in the best hotels, and like this, it's gone. Like it's a scary thing, and like, people need to plan for that. Like you don't have to earn as much as you're earning, but are my costs covered? Like you take insurance, you take whatever rent. Guys are buying a 2 million rand car, but rent an apartment, and I'm like, dude,
it's the other way around.
Should be the other way around. Like lease a car, buy your apartment. Try and make sure that there's something. Like
make that apartment, buy another apartment.
Yes, it's like that was my plan. It was like, cool, find like 300, 400 grand apartments around a university, always people to rent. Then like once you get a few of those, and you're like, okay, cool, I can sell two, and I can buy a slightly bigger one around a university or around somewhere people are working, or different plans for different people. But just slowly plan. It's just think about it, because rugby does come to an end, and as much as you need to
live the life,
and train. Like, and again, those youngsters coming into it, are you doing everything you can to be the best?
True.
Like getting there is easy. It's easy relative to staying there.
True.
Like everyone always used to laugh. Like they always say, "Oh, Ryan, it was easy this," or "You're fast, it's lucky." Dude, I was training Saturdays and Sundays, like with Kevin Stevenson, one man, running like up and down the field. Then you get to training and the guys think, "Geez, Ryan, like you're
carving us."
No, like, but why? He's like, "Oh no, but he's lazy. Yeah, he's not doing this." But then they don't realize that you're putting in the extra work on the weekends when everyone else is chilling, doing nothing. You putting in the extra, so you try and
stay ahead of the game then.
Yeah, dude. Keep quiet, train hard, and let them see on the field that things are going well, or you're doing good. So it's just keep planning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being so generous, Ryan. And I mean that. Thank you for your time. I know time is something that we both respect, that it is for us to use it constructively. And for this, it was so constructive. Thanks for your thoughts. Thanks for your time, and
thanks for having
so generous. But this won't be the last time.
Please, anytime, I'm here.
Well, subscribe. Please like and share, because we have lots of people who have these interesting insights on how we can actually make a long-lasting impression. We love our Springboks, we love our professional rugby players, but the only thing we want is better sons, better people, and especially exceptional South Africans. This is the Kerr Report.